had made that scene, even though it was actually dangerous.
Well, you've been a team in fact as well as name. No one knows that story better than your longtime manager and partner, Mr. Ben Shipman. Ben, come on out here. Here's the co-conspirator right here. Mr. Shipman, Stan and Oliver, yes, well, thank you for all your help in fooling these boys. They've been together longer than any comedy team in movies. Isn't it something like 300 films together that they made?
That is right, sir. And the most enjoyable and most wonderful part about working with them has been to observe that extreme loyalty to one another and the desire to please one another and the desire to make each other successful. It's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you, Mr. Ben Shipman and Mr. Warren Doan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Well, the years roll along. The 1930s, the 1940s, you keep turning out your clean, wholesome comedies. And during this time, neither of you realizes what an impact you're having on millions of people overseas, until you undertake a tour of England and Europe in 1947.
Stan and Oliver were completely unprepared for the explosion of joy and welcome that greeted them everywhere overseas. Crowds blocked the streets to catch just one itsy-bitsy sight of them.
Someone you helped get started in movies. Today, she's a great star in her own right in movies, on the stage, radio, television, now in Hollywood making the Sam Goldwyn movie version of Guys and Dolls. Here is your grateful friend, lovely Vivian Blaine. Vivian Blaine, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Vivian, you were in London last year playing in Guys and Dolls when Stan and Oliver made their, what was it, third tour of the British Isles, I think it was. Now, how did the people show their affection for Stan and Babe?
Well, Ralph, they had a most astonishing way of showing their great love for Stan and Ollie, as we all have.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, as the word got out that their ship was about to dock at Cove, Ireland, the signal went around, all the schools were closed, and thousands of people were at the dock to meet them. And then a most unusual and wonderful thing happened. The great carillon bells of the Cove Cathedral began ringing. And this time it had nothing to do with a hymn or an anthem. This time, those wonderful old bells were ringing the cuckoo song.
How about that? Thank you, Vivian Blaine. Thanks, Vivian Blaine. That's good. All your success would have been meaningless without someone to share it with you. So let's bring to your sides the two ladies who really knew how to keep our secret, your wives. First, your wife, Lucille Oliver, Mrs. Hardy. There she is. There we are. And your wife, Edith, and Mrs. Laurel. Edith, right there. Hello. Oh, and another happy surprise, Stan. Your daughter, Lois, Mrs. Randy Brooks. And here is Lois. That's the daughter. These are your lives. You sit here, Stan. Mrs. Laurel, you sit right up there, and daughter beside you. And you, yeah, Mrs. Hardy, is there room, dear? He could sit on his lap, maybe. Well, your past gathering around you here, your fun and humor have been a tonic for a troubled world. Let's look into your future, Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. Tonight it'll hold the happiness you deserve at a party in your honor at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, where your out-of-town friends have been staying. Now, each of you will receive a 16-millimeter sound film of tonight's program and a Bell & Howell sound projector for rerunning the film. To Mrs. Hardy and Mrs. Laurel, we have these very beautiful charm bracelets, 14-karat gold charm bracelets from Marshall Jewelers, 5th Avenue, New York, one for each of you, and cufflinks commemorating this night and other nights in your life for you fellas. Now, Stan and Oliver, Hazel Bishop wants, as a lasting honor to your lives, arrange a bronze tablet placed beside the famed old water pool where you were in and out of so much at the Hal Roach studio, naming it Lake Laurel and Hardy. And here to accept this plaque is your good friend, president of Hal Roach Productions, Mr. Hal Roach, Jr. Come on, Mr. Roach. Hal Roach, Jr.
Filled with the memories of the wonderful comedies you fellows have done. It'll be a pleasure to put up a permanent plaque as a tribute to your genius.
Thanks, Hal. Now, fellas, all of your friends were flown here by TWA Luxurious Constellation. They fly the finest on TWA, the airline that flies 3/4 of the way around the world. Thanks. Till next week. Good night to you all.